Hello, this is MobiCe, and this is our first tutorial for our first API, the PDF API. The PDF API, with the PDF API, you can create a PDF object, and you can attach that PDF in an email. It creates a .pdf file. You can attach that PDF in an email. You can save it to a file. Alright, so to begin, go to mobice.org. And then go to APIs, download the pdf.zip, which I've already done. Unzip it, you'll get two files, a pdf.h and a pdf.m. As you can see, I've already added them into the my Xcode project. Just create an Xcode project, add the pdf.h and pdf.m. Make sure that the copy resources into folder is checked. It's something like that. And you're good to go. Alright, so now to begin, go to viewcontroller.h. I've already done on this, but I'll explain it. Go to viewcontroller.h, import pdf.h. Now, just like you create an string object, say string, that's how you create a PDF object. You just do PDF in caps, and then create whatever you want to call the PDF. I just call it PDF. Alright, now go to viewcontroller.m. Alright, so this is a whole lot of code. I'll explain it in a second. Alright, first you want to do like this. You want to set the PDF to PDF allocate and initialize the object. Alright, that's the first step to initialize the object. There's another step. You also have to do PDF init content. You have got to do this. If you don't do this, then a lot of things that the PDF needs to initialize, like random rects and stuff like that, you're gonna have loads of bugs, and you're not gonna be able to use the PDF. All right. So after you initialized with the init and the init content, you're gonna want to set the size of the PDF. So this is the size of the PDF when you open the file. I set it to 600. You can set it to whatever you want. Just do CG size make, width, height. Alright. Now, this is something I need to explain. In a PDF, there's one thing that's always going to be automatic, and that's a header. You're always going to have a header, and it's always going to be at 330 at this rectangle. 332, 30, 137, 30. Now, you can change that rectangle. You can change where you want it to be by simply saying PDF set header rect, and then you can change it to wherever you want. And if you don't want a header, just set the rectangle to somewhere off screen. But even if you don't want a header, you always have to set the header, set header to something. It can just be 444, whatever, or anything. But make sure you set it to @ quotations and something in the middle. Alright? In this tutorial, I will be creating a header, and I will be wanting the user to see it. So I just said header. Alright, now, if you want to add an image, you do it like this. PDF, add image with rect. Now, you add whatever image you want, and at what rect you want, where you want it on the screen, with which width and height. Now, if you have an image, say appicon.jpg, which is 57 by 57. Now, when you create the CG rect make, this is your width and height, right? It'll automatically resize the image to be this width and this height. So no need to worry about that. Alright, so I put it on 210, 119. And then I said PDF, add text with rect. This means just add text and at which position with which width and height. Now, an important note, if your text length is longer than the width you set here, then the text just won't be displayed. So always make sure your width, the width you set in the CG rect make, is longer than your text. Alright, now I'm done adding stuff. So what I'm going to do is like this. PDF, generate, PDF with file path. Just put in any file path you want here. This is the file path to where you're going to save the PDF. Alright, myself, I have to create my directory. Now I have these methods down here that create. This method creates a directory, docs, and this method will enable me to get the path of file. Alright, so I say create direct, and I just want to check they're both here. Good. Alright, create direct and generate PDF with file path. So that's going to be self path of file, and let's call the file, it has to be something .pdf, by the way. It cannot be just, you can't just say hello. It has to be hello.pdf, so let's keep it like that. Alright, now every time you generate PDF with file path, it not only generates a PDF at this file path, it also creates a data object with the data of your PDF. This allows you to attach the PDF in an email. I'll be making another tutorial to show how to do that, quick short tutorial, but for now I'm not going to do that. Alright, so now we have all this. Let's just run this on a device. There's no no view or something. It just creates a PDF. Now I'm done building. Because there's no view, as I said before, we're going to need a different way to check the result, and that's by I generated the PDF to a file path, hello.pdf, so I'm going to go check that file path into there. Alright, now I'm going to do show package contents, app data, library, docs, and we have the PDF we created, and as you can see, it did it perfectly. Created the header again, because I didn't set the header rec to be in the middle of the page like it should be, like it would be nice to be. It created it randomly, which isn't good, but you can do that yourself. Just do header PDF set header rect. We created the image where I wanted it to. It created the text, and it created the whole PDF to be 600 by 600, which is perfect. This is what we wanted. I'll be making another tutorial on how to attach the PDF to an email. Check often, subscribe. Thank you. Goodbye.